Okay guys, hello and welcome back to the Trademark Sports YouTube channel. Today we're starting off a new series where we're going to be doing a season preview for all 17 rugby league football clubs. We will go from the bottom of the ladder, working our way up to the top. So for the first episode, that means, yes, we are talking about the West Tigers. So we're going to go through, have a look at the changes made in the squad, some question marks, some exciting things about the squad and the club and that sort of thing, go through their best 17 and then where I think they'll finish up the season. So let's get straight into it. If you like this video, make sure you drop a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave me a comment saying how you reckon the Tigers go this season. We'll start off with some players that they've brought in. They've brought in this young kid, Solomon Alamalo. I'm not sure too much about him. I think he's going to be a development player, that sort of thing. They've also brought in Latu and Samuel Afenu, handy pickups there. Aiden Caesar and Jaden Sullivan. So some very, very handy signings there for that top 30 squad. There's 3 halves they've brought in there, and they're bringing like Luai in 25 too. But Samuel Afenu, another guy with a stack of potential. Their losses for 2024 is Luke Brooks, Atasi James, Dane Laurie and Tommy Talau. So some pretty handy players there, but I think it's really, really good thing that the Luke Brooks relationship has ended for both parties. I think it's going to be the best thing for both of them. Other guys, like with James, I think he was probably had a fair amount of potential, and see how he goes over at Manly. But it's pretty funny. So they've brought in Latu Fanu and Samuel Fanu from Manly, and then they'll let James, Brooks and Talau go to Manly. So there's some stuff going on there, which will be interesting. Dane Laurie is starting to come good. I could probably go gun at Penrith, but I think that's not honestly a major loss for the Tigers. And Tommy Talau is a little bit like Luke Brooks in the fact that he just that relationship probably needed to be ended at the Tigers. So moving on to some question marks I have about this squad. So the first one I have is how will Benji go in his first year of head coaching? Obviously their squad looks quite decent this year. There's stacks of potential and a lot of players there, but how's Benji going to be able to manage a dressing room, that sort of thing? We saw he was going to be under the tutelage of Tim Sheens for a couple of years, and they decided to sack him, which was probably an awful decision, and it's probably going to be honestly one of the main reasons why I place the Tigers where I'm going to place them in my prediction. But yeah, I think Benji, if given time, will become a good coach. I just don't know if the Tigers will afford him that time, which is one of the issues there. So the other question I have is, who will be the halves pairing? Where does that leave the third option? So obviously they brought in those 3 halves there, Fainu, Caesar and Sullivan. And do you go for experience in Caesar and Sullivan, or do you go for a bit of experience in youth with Caesar and Fainu, or do you go for double youth with Fainu and Sullivan? And then again, does the other one play 14, or do you put Talent to Silver there? Does the other one play New South Wales Cup? I think honestly, if you have Latu Fainu, not Samuel, I think I said before. If you have Latu Fainu not as one of the starting halves, I think the best thing to do is keep playing him in New South Wales Cup, because it's going to be better for his game to get 80 minutes in the halves than 20 minutes coming off the bench playing dummy half or as a 13 or something. It's very rare that you see a team change the halves throughout midway through the game. The Dragons did it last year, and we saw how that went. Not good is the answer to that. But again, if you got Jaden Sullivan, I think it's probably best to play him in New South Wales Cup. He's still only 22, so he's got that time to develop, especially as a half. He has time on his side, and he's played that 14 role for the Dragons. He's come on and played a bit of 9 and stuff. It's not his game. He's the best game of rugby league he's played in the NRL was in Magic Round when he played halfback and torched the Tigers. I think that's got to be the place for him to play. And the other question mark I have is, how will the squad combine? They've just got used to a brand new style of footy, a lot of new faces coming in, and then they're going to do it all over again because they've got new halves, new spine combinations, new way of playing under Benji. Is it going to be something they pick up quickly, or is it going to be a bit of teething issues? To be honest, I think for the Tigers, towards the end of the season, it'll all start to click and they might start going good, but I still don't think they're going to be making finals football this year. But that is one of my exciting things for the Tigers. They have some really, really good prospects and some positive direction for the future. You brought in Latu Fan, who's got one of the biggest raps on him in the country as one of these young halves. They've got Lockie Galvin coming through at 5'8", who's an absolute gun. Jaden Caesar has a bunch of potential. If you can keep him... Jaden Sullivan, if he has a bunch of potential. If he can keep fit, then the Tigers could have an absolute gem there. You've also got guys like Justin Matamua there still to come through and really fulfill their potential. Fanua Bole, these kind of guys. And Jareen Buller. There is the frameworks of an absolutely outrageously good team. Stefano Utaikamanu, he could be unbelievable. But you just need to be able to unlock this, and I don't know if they've got the right things in place for that, but fingers crossed for Tigers fans they do and start winning some games. The other exciting thing I've got is that you got rid of your toxic board members. Like, they were just ruining that club. There's so many stupid decisions made in that last 10 years. When was the last time they made finals? 11 or 12 seasons ago. It's been a long while now, and finally, look, as soon as there's an external review of the club, not an internal review of the club, they get the sack. So I think, obviously you don't want anyone to lose their jobs because they've got families and everything to support, but it is the best thing for the Tigers Football Club that they have a new board. One thing, I'm not the biggest fan of Lee Weird Hat Guy and Justin Pascoe, but I will give credit to Justin Pascoe for actually being respectful in the media and saying, look, cop it on the chin, our performances went up to scratch, and that means my job will move on. But Lee could not take any accountability, and I'm not shocked at all by that. I don't think anyone is. So we'll move on now to the Tigers' best 17, in my opinion anyway, for 2024. So at fullback, I have the Dream Buller. I think that's the obvious choice there. There's a couple other guys in that club that can play fullback there, but Dream Buller was so good in his rookie season. You might still have a little bit of second season jitters, so if you're a Tigers fan, don't expect him to be having week in, week out performances like he did last season. But the best thing I thought was effort. Was what his game was built off, and that's not just going to disappear overnight. His ball skills might not might drop a couple of balls and whatnot, that kind of thing. But the one thing you can guarantee with Buller is he's going to turn up time and time again and be there, covering in defense. I thought in his second game when he covered it and tackled Nathan Cleary to save a try, and they ended up winning that game in the wet out in Tamworth, I believe it was. That's when I sort of knew straight away that Dream Buller, very very handy player. Moving on to the wings now, I've got Junior Tupu and also Tristan Riley. Obviously, Junior Tupu is leaving to go to the Dolphins at the end of the season, which silly decision from the Tigers board. I think there's a lot of stacks of potential there. Just consistency is Tupu's only problem, and it's just an age thing. Once he gets a bit older, he's going to be one of the best wingers in the comp, to be honest. And then Tristan Riley really impressed me actually last year towards the back end of the season when he made his debut. He's in his mid to late 20s, so he's taken a while to get there, but I think he's a great player and probably one of the best guys. I had David Nofaluma there, but he looks like he's got 1 foot out the door, and I don't think he'll be playing first grade this season at the Tigers. So Tristan Riley is probably the next best option there for me. In the centers, then I've got Adam Dewey once he returns back from injury. Obviously he's the best 17, just if everyone's healthy. And Stafford Toa there as well. In brackets here, next to Stafford Toes, we've got Josh Folletti. I think he might start the season in centres or even on the wing there, and Tristan Riley might play in the centres, but they actually do have a few options there at the Tigers in the outside backs. It's probably still their weak point of their side, but hey, there's a lot of young guys there as well, so they can definitely improve. Moving into the $1 million question in the halves, who do I have there? So my 7 is Aiden Caesar. I think they need that experience in that direction, especially to start the season off. In the 6 paired with him, I do have Bud Sullivan, just because he does have that extra bit of experience playing NRL, which is probably going to be very crucial at the start of the year. I do see Latu Fanu getting a lot of opportunity this year to play in that halves pairing for the Tigers, though, however, so we'll just have to see how that goes. I could be way off. It could be someone never even heard of pairing with Aiden Caesar. We just don't know. And then in the front row, this one pretty much picks itself. David Clemmer and Stefano Utikamani, which is honestly on paper one of probably the top front row pairings in the competition if they can get it right and play consistent footy, which is the big if, and it's been the big if for the Tigers for a few years now. Then again, number 9 picks itself, Api Coruscant. You've always got Talent Silva coming through there, but he's still 18 or 19. He'll probably start the year in SG Ball, to be honest. That's how young he is. And Api Coruscant, no one's really going to budge him. He's probably going to get back to Origin Arena this year. Well, that's probably going to be his goal. But yeah, one of the best nuns in the comp, Coruscant. You're not really picking anyone over him, are you? The second row again picks itself. You've got Papali'i and John Bateman. They do have a couple good young second rows coming through, but their time will come. Just not yet. Just be patient. And then at 13, I have Justin Matamua, who I think is ready to show his potential this year in the NRL. Good young ball playing lock, big frame, big body, can defend. He's got all the tools to become all the tools to play lock in the NRL to a very, very good level. Now, moving on to the bench at the 14, I do have Talent Silva or Latu Fanu, depending what way they want to go. I probably would take Talent Silva because of the way the game's played. To ask Api Coruscant to play 80 minutes at full flight is a very, very tough task, and Talent Silva will be better for the experience playing 20, 30 minutes per game for the next couple of seasons. Then by the time he's 21, he's already got 60 NRL games experience with when Coruscant retires. I think that'd be the best way to do it for them. We've also got Alex Twal and Fanor Bole as the replacement front rows. And then at 17 here, I've got Shawn Blore in question marks because it looks like he might be off to the Storm a little bit early, which means you've also got Justin Olam who'll be playing in the centres there, which I forgot to talk about. So you can switch up with that outside backs a little bit, but for the time being, I got Shawn Blore. Honestly, by the time this comes out, he'll probably be a Storm player. So we'll put Alex Seyfarth there as well. And then at 18th man, I got Samuel Afenu. It's honestly not that bad of a squad. If they all play to their potential, you're looking at a top 8 side there. I don't think they'll be able to reach it this season. I do still think that they will make the bottom 4. That's my predicted finish. I think there's just because you've got a bit of teething issues there with a new coach, new halves combinations, new style of play. I do think the time will come for the Tigers fans. It will come. You will play finals football again. I promise you that. Just don't think it's 2024.